Hi, I'm Justin.
Also, I hate the way my voice sounds, so if you can do whatever Photoshop does to voices, make me sound awesome.
And this is my lovely friend,
The beauty in the eyes of the beholder, and it's just about getting into the seat of being the beholder.
Hayley.
I don't think you have to be particularly perceptive. I just think you have to look up.
This podcast is mostly just her telling me stories.
If you expose yourself to the possibility that this might be really awkward, there can be something just really cool on the other side of it.
She thinks that her life and way of looking at things are
Oh, I was kind of waiting on you. I thought you were getting your stuff ready. You're waiting on me?
pretty normal.
You got to edit out all the misinformation about the Amish.
Maybe you can relate.
I would like a chance to re-sing the Amish Paradise.
If you want lighthearted stories
All right, you want to talk about goats?
and stream of consciousness,
I just woke up and needed some friends, and so I bought them.
then you're gonna like the Sunny Side Up podcast.
Sunny side up, sunny side up, sunny side up, sunny side up.
So, if you're at all like me, you may feel that you're living in a world that can be a bit overwhelming and confusing at times. I'm also a huge fan of podcasts, documentaries, docudramas, stories, and of just information in general. Between all of that and the social media and news, sometimes our brains can feel like they're on overload. Hayley and I hope that this podcast can be something of an antidote to all of that. Like little jello shots of joy and distraction. None of it is too serious or really too informative. Mostly it's just two friends who have conversational chemistry talking about whatever enters the minds of relatively ADHD people. We hope you enjoy.
The crazy person thing, I don't know, because sometimes the crazy behavior is you don't know that they've been drinking. That's just what has happened in the past or whatever. And you just never know at a glance who's drunk versus who's crazy. Like you've been sitting in a Waffle House and somebody kicked the door, and one of Katie's friends was telling us that they were at Waffle House with his family and somebody kicked the door in and came in singing Kung Fu Fighting at the top of his lungs.
Kung Fu fighting.
And my friends growing up had gone to Waffle House, and I wasn't with them, but a guy kicks the door in and comes in singing Cheeseburger in Paradise. And it's like, were these crazy people, or were they drunk people because it is a Waffle House in the middle of the night? Or is this just normal behavior because now we know that there's multiple people who do this?
Yes.
It's the thing about crazy people. You can't blame the people around them because you don't even really know, are they crazy or is it substance abuse or are they having a blood sugar episode or whatever?
I have a substance abuse meets Waffle House story for you.
Okay. There's probably so many of those.
I love you. You know, one of my fantasies in life is that I'm going to do a docuseries called People of Waffle House, and it is going to be both sides of the counter because that is one of God's gifts to South Central U.S. is Waffle House. They're a brilliant organization.
Are they only in the South Central U.S.? They're not
They've crept out. They've crept up north to a certain extent, and they've crept west, but they're mostly South and Central.
Where we love our fried foods and our syrups. Yeah.
But, as a quick little plug for the Awful House, as I affectionately call them, they have such an incredible system for when power goes out, hurricanes, all the stuff, that FEMA unofficially uses how well how many Waffle Houses managed to remain open after a disaster of how impactful that disaster was, because they typically have power backup, they typically have food redundancies, and they also have a rule that if you work in corporate, you are going to work on all the nights and all the weekends. Nobody gets out alive from Waffle House. You don't get to wear a suit and tie at Waffle House and just I work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Oh no, you're going to work on Sundays at 3 a.m, or whatever. And in emergencies, they'll make people in the C-suite jump in a truck and deliver potatoes or something. It's crazy. They have a really interesting, their corporate structure is about how do we serve the people that come into our place. So anyways, that's the Lovin' on Waffle House. But here's my story about the Waffle House around the corner from our house on Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving in 2023 that just passed us by not too long ago. So we go in, and on Thanksgiving Day, nobody's open. right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
Yep.
yeah, it's one of the two sacred holidays here in the U.S. Yeah, Christmas and Thanksgiving. Don't bother me. So, Waffle House is open. I use that term loosely. And we brought a whole crew because you know how we do Thanksgiving. We cancel Christmas, but we do Thanksgiving
It's your
hard.
Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's our Super Bowl. It's our Super Bowl of holidays. So we probably rolled in like 15 to 20 deep and flooded this poor Waffle House. And so our waitress comes over to us, and I know there's no video here, so I got to describe, but she was like, that kind of like when someone's standing there and they tilt a little forward and they tilt a little backwards. And then like the blink of the eye is like a slow close, slow open.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And then she goes, thanks for coming in.
Oh.
And she goes, I'm not even gonna lie to you. She goes, I'm a little fucked up. And we're like, okay, sweet. I'm loving the honesty here. And then she's, kind of tilting back and forth on her feet. And then she's kind of looking at us, just kind of like that tilting back and forth. She goes, yeah, it's really not my fault, though. She goes, I was supposed to have today off, so I got fucked up. And then they said I had to come in. And so it's not my fault.
It's not her fault.
And it wasn't. And I will
Justice for Waffle House lady.
Yes.
It was not her fault.
Sweet girl struggled.
Don't call me on a holiday.
Yeah. You told me it's my day off. Yeah, she got schmackered and shwasted. But anywho, like watching her try to take our orders was hysterical. It was the best thing ever. And then try to relay them to the cook. It was clearly what you should have done is cut out the middleman and just been like, hey, I'll take, a hash brown. Right.
Yeah.
But oh no, we went through this charade of having this poor girl who was smashed try to get our order from the table to the guy. It was delightful. But I gave her a big tip because I was like, you know what, girl? You were honest from the beginning, and it was a total hoot.
Okay, wait a second. Mr. Criticize the girl who tips the half a haircut cosmetologist.
Because she was honest.
Cosmetologist girl was honest. I can't proceed.
Hold on.
I can't finish
Hold on. Cosmetologist girl goes, hey, here's the deal. I'm only going to be able to make it through half of this haircut, and then I'm going to dip. Do you still want me to move forward? And you select yes.
Oh.
Right.
The lack of disclosure at the beginning. What if it was like a stomach situation? Maybe she was like halfway through her haircut, and all of a sudden, I'm in a bind. Maybe something happened. I didn't ask her. I didn't question. And so maybe she was saving us from a worse fate than a half a haircut.
That's a possibility.
It was still, if you can tip drunk Waffle House waitress.
Oh, I totally did. She was amazing.
But she got the job done.
She got the sort of. Yeah,
okay.
There's a lot of stuff missing. There was a lot of confusion.
That happens in the Laurel Waffle House by a sober
that's
waitress.
Waffle House at its best. Yeah, that's
She
true.
put chocolate chips in everybody's waffle. And I was like, none of us ordered. Like, why did you assume that is the wrongest direction to take to put extra things in waffles? Oh, my God. Like, less. If you're going to do something wrong at Waffle House,
then you
withhold.
Yeah.
Safer option than adding. I am offended at chocolate chips in my pancakes or waffles.
Really?
Yeah, yuck city.
Weird.
Well, you're putting syrup on them. Syrup and chocolate chips don't belong together.
I guess I don't put much syrup on a chocolate chip waffle. I more do like butter and maybe a light drizzle of syrup, but I don't soak it.
Yeah. Yuck. If I want chocolate chips, it's a cookie.
Okay. Fair enough.
Hello, lovely friends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And it would mean the world if you would tell other people about this podcast and maybe even spam your social media accounts with just how much you're enjoying it. If you are, of course. Also, commenting and rating us on whatever platform you're downloading or streaming from is incredibly helpful to a little startup podcast like this one. On the other hand, if you are dissatisfied with your listening experience, please leave all of that hate on someone else's podcast. Just maybe to confuse them a little bit, right? But most of all, we hope you keep looking up and looking for the sunny side of life.